excellence in sports entertainment.
Right. I got two left hooves. Who on test? Well, since nobody's stepping to me, take me to your cult leader. Take me to your local drug dealer. Take me to the man in the mirror when you stand and deliver with your hand on the trigger. An emotional terrorist. I-double-M-U-N-E. Never make my enemy public. I'm a private dancer, dancing for money. Do that thing that's corny. I'll make you wanna laugh. I'll make you wanna move. I'll make you wanna
Ladies and gents, welcome back to Spot Monkey Radio. We took last week off for obvious reasons. We'll talk about it later in the show. But we are back at it. No Mike Greco. Greco is detained today as well.
He said detained. That sounds so bad.
Yeah, he will be joining us next week. So today it's me, it's Malik. It's a lot of wrestling talk. I just want to thank everybody yesterday who came and hung out during Malik. I started a virtual pro wrestling league using WWE 2K25, and I got to say, it was pretty successful. A lot of people enjoyed it. So it's every Sunday, 6 p.m. On Legend Series on my other YouTube channel. It's called the LSWA, Legend Series Wrestling Alliance.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm trying to recreate the Monday Night War. I put Nitro and Thunder, Raw and SmackDown, and I basically, if you're a channel member, and I've made you and Anthony, I put the movement in the game. But if you're a channel member, I'll make you and I'll put you in the universe so that now you're a part of as well with us. And so far, we've gotten quite a few members, and it's growing pretty good. It was actually yesterday was the first one, and man, it was fucking crazy. I lost my voice. I sound like this today because yesterday I was screaming at a video game.
Well, it sounds like you had a fun time, man.
It was a blast. But now, that was then. This is now. We have a lot of wrestling talk to get to. I'm going to start with Monday Night Raw. John Cena and his first heel promo. We were waiting for it. You were upset that he wasn't coming to the Garden, that he was waiting to do this in Brooklyn.
Oh, man. For you to play back that from 2 weeks ago, it really does frustrate and upset me because it's just like, all right.
But now that it's done and it's over with, are you mad that you missed it? Because it didn't seem like it. I don't know. I felt like while I liked what he said to the crowd, was like, you get nothing. I'm not changing anything because you don't deserve anything, right? I liked that idea. But like I felt like it was a little lackluster. Like I was expecting this whole thing where he comes out, he explains him and the Rock's plan, like how the Rock swayed him. And it was literally not one mention of the Rock. Not one mention of why he did what he did. He just hates the fans now. So I just felt like it was a little convoluted, I guess is the best. It didn't make sense.
I mean, bringing up The Rock, knowing that he probably won't even be on a show until possibly the go-home episode before WrestleMania, is the only thing that probably plays off in my mind. Or maybe the go-home, whether it be Raw or SmackDown, because technically Cody's on SmackDown. But you know, Raw is so special with it being live that you probably don't want there to be a taped Cena segment. So that's probably the reason as to why they're having him show up. Quick little bit of sad news pertaining to that. All the freaking Cena hats from Brussels and rally towels and wristbands sold out. So I am very upset that I'm missing out on a full set of Cena stuff. When I knew I should have just ordered it then and there. I didn't make that mistake today, though. They're going to be in Glasgow, so I made sure to order those, which will be coming in as early as this week. But yeah, back to the promo. I'm sorry, I'm really frustrated about it.
Here's the thing: is I don't know if you remember this, but years ago, when we used to talk about Cena potentially going heel, I suggested a gimmick like this, where he does what he wants because he has the top guy. You can't tell him what to do because he's earned that. He basically earned the clout. Essentially, kind of like how Jeff Jarrett was the king of the mountain, and Jeff Jarrett could kind of just do stuff as TNA because he was the king.
Where he legitimately had all the stroke.
Exactly. I felt like John Cena should have had that. I mean, I think he's going to do that now. That's why he's like, I'm going to come up to the same music. I'm not going to change my gear. I'm going to be the same fucking guy. Fuck you. Like it or don't. I don't really care anymore. I'm breaking up with you. Like, that was his thing. I'm breaking up with you.
Which was hilarious.
Which was funny. He broke, and I'm fine with that part.
Yes.
Where he's like, this is toxic and I'm done. But Did The Rock convince you of that? Or did you come to your own conclusion within the 3 seconds of Cody Rhodes telling him to go fuck himself? Like when did this epiphany happen with you and the fans? When did the switch flip? You don't explain that part. You just said, I don't like you, fuck you, it's over. So it's just like, even in a breakup, we deserve a little explanation, no?
Well, some people don't always get what they want, as far as breakups go.
True, very, very true.
For me, as angry as irate as Cody was on SmackDown post Elimination Chamber, you would have thought he would have been so fired up that when he came down to the ring, he would have immediately wanted to throw hands with Cena.
That pissed me off, but go ahead, yeah.
And instead, he, like us, wanted to hear Cena's explanation to why he did all of what he's done. And I think for me, because we probably both have the mindset of going through the traditional standards of a guy going out to go get his revenge.
Yeah.
They did something completely different, which I'm not don't oppose to. I just wish that there was more elements to it where it's like, all right, when did you and The Rock say, hey, we're going to do this? Like, we're going to take over and I need that extra helping hand. That's all.
That's all I wanted. I don't need a full-on explanation as to, like, this whole breakup scenario that he did was like, okay, it was interesting. It was a cool take on why you did what you did. But when? Who was the catalyst? Like, who all of a sudden decided, like, fuck you people? Like, what was it? He didn't really get into that part. He could have picked any time in history and just said that was the moment. But he didn't. I don't know. That was just I felt like it was lackluster, and it was annoying, like you said. I'm expecting Cody Rhodes to come out and either verbally berate him or beat the shit out of him. And all he said was, go find John Cena because this bitch I'm not fighting. And it was a cool little promo that he said.
Yes.
But it was just kind of like, I don't know. I felt like it fell flat. I felt like there was more potential there. I guess maybe I was disappointed because I was expecting a new theme. I was expecting like John Cena in maybe like a suit, just a different look. Like just a little different. I'm not telling you to shave your head and put a wig on like everybody was assuming you was going to do and all this other shit. No, I'm expecting you to at least now look the part. You joined The Rock.
Yes.
Okay? Now, here's the question. This is why this doesn't make sense to me. The Rock wants a champion. You're going to be my champion, right? But now here was the thing where I was just like, oh, shit, is he about to do what I think he's about to do? When he was like, oh, I go on this thing and it's not enough for you people. This farewell tour and it's not enough for you people, right? And I was just like, this is the moment where he turns around and he should go, now I'm not going away. I'm going to win the championship and I'm not fucking going away. I was going to do it, but you people don't deserve that. Fuck you. I'm going to win the title and I'm not going anywhere now. I felt like he should have done something like that, but he didn't. He continued to say, this is my last. This is it. So it's like, well, then why would you, there's potential here. There's potential here for a heel Cena gimmick for at least 2 years, at least. But now you've just shit canned it because in December it goes away because Cena goes away, and now it makes no sense as to why The Rock would want him as champion if this guy is leaving in December. It just didn't make any sense. There was no explanation. It was just, he's my guy now. Fuck you. I don't like you people no more. This is how it's going to be. Now I get it. It's fine. It works.
Now I feel like I have to retract the statement on whether or not The Rock will be around because, people were already speculating, hey, he's not going to be around for WrestleMania, and it got to him allegedly. These are all the inside rumors that people throw out there. The little idea that you just said where, he could turn around and just be like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm sticking around. Somebody had attitude. He was like, you know what? I'm going to be a part-timer for another decade. I thought it was funny. I was just like,
that'd be great to say.
But I was like, I don't think they're going to go that route. I mean, today, Raw's on at 4 p.m. Eastern time for us, which is still weird. Their promo ran so long that Jay's match against Austin Theory was no more than 30 seconds.
I know. Well, and let's get to that real quick because Jey Uso, I mean, that could have been a catastrophic botch when he
the flip dive.
When he dove over that top rope, that could have been catastrophic. Thank God he was okay and he laughed it off. But that could have been bad. So that could have fucked up the whole WrestleMania. This whole WrestleMania.
That would be a very bad injury. One of the things that's been happening a lot lately is obviously the wrestling, the internet wrestling community. Y'all have ways. There are moments where you're down with everything, and the next minute you are totally against it. I know that.
Why they
Me
turn
probably, in ways. What you see on TV, everybody's going hot and heavy for the gimmick, and they've been that way from the moment he came back and was put over on Raw.
Okay,
he's been pretty much the hottest thing over on Raw, with some exceptions like a CM Punk or somebody else over there, Seth Rollins. But he's one of their big time players.
I think so.
Are people probably a little bothered that they were able to see this on Peacock once before because or NBC when it was Saturday Night's Main Event? Sure, I'm probably people are bothered by that, but it happened. It is what it is. It's crazy that it happened. What, a week before the Rumble at that?
Oh yeah, the 1-on-1 on Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yes,
a week before.
And you're the one who called it. You were the one who said, like, hey, he's going to turn around and he's going to challenge Gunther. He's going to win the Rumble, and he's more than likely going to challenge Gunther because we don't know where the story would have went if he turned around and challenged Cody.
What did it for me was that night. It was that match. I saw him fight Gunther. I saw the crowd completely behind him. I saw he put on a hell of a contest with Gunther. I think that was the barometer. That was like, let's see if people will embrace these two against each other. And when they saw that they did, and then when he came out, I think it was the Monday night before Raw. I mean, the Raw before the Rumble. And he comes out and cuts a promo and he goes, I can beat him, y'all. And the crowd went nuts. I immediately was like, oh, he's going to win the Royal Rumble and he's going to go fight Gunther. Because Gunther doesn't have something in front of him at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes, you could literally put whoever the fuck you want. Yeah. Cody Rhodes didn't need the winner of the Royal Rumble to add to his main event match, but Gunther does. So that's why I was like, oh, so like they basically tested you. Do you like this match? And people did. They embraced it, and they were like, okay, so let's have him win the Rumble. Let's have him go after Gunther. And now Gunther has an actual really good match coming at WrestleMania if Jey Uso doesn't fucking almost break his neck. So let's just hope that he doesn't do any more botches like that going in. There's a couple more weeks, so you got to be careful.
Yeah. So the few little takes from what people say on the internet, it's not just, from Twitter or Facebook. It'll also be people that also create content like you and I right here on a podcast saying like, well, he needs to do more moves. And I'm like, nobody was saying that about Austin in 99. Nobody was saying that about The Rock in 2000. That kind of stuff came in when they saw John Cena, who was already doing a lot. And I feel like everybody just, I don't know, you get neuralized by the Men in Black, and all of a sudden you don't remember how certain people have been wrestling for years and years, and you call yourself a wrestling fan. That's the shit that tips me off and bothers me, because it's like, what? He's already doing a lot. I said, one of the things that he probably does a little too much is, the slap. Basically now he's doing the Rock's punches. There's tons of super kicks. Like there's things that he's adding. I'm not too crazy that him and his brother, I already stated this before we went on live, that him and his brother both do the spear, and it's a thing in the video game too. It just becomes so much, and just, but I disagree with the wrestling internet community, period.
Oh, me too. But for me, I don't like that they're borrowing from each other. So I don't like they're borrowing within the Samoan dynasty, if you will. Like
I'm waiting for Roman Reigns to hit the splash now at WrestleMania. That's it.
It's shit like that it's like, it's all right. You don't have to there's got to be some kind of originality between you guys.
Yes.
Like I don't want it to be like if I watch one Samoan, I watched all Samoans. I don't want it to be like that. And a lot of times but the problem is it's everywhere. Like they all do the same moves. They have default moves that they do in order to transition. Like we used to have when we were wrestling, it was the DDT for us.
Yes.
That was a move that was very overused when we were in the game.
Oh, my God.
And now it's the super kick and the spear. And you know what else is coming? I'm noticing the fucking Superman punch. I've been watching in the indies now, bud. In the indies.
Really? Oh, something, to be honest, because you actually are on the scene filming it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the point where it's like, realistically speaking, some of the guys that we're friends with and all will tell me a name, and I go, I
Who
don't
the
know
fuck's
who
that?
you're
Yeah.
talking. I don't know
Yeah.
who you're talking about.
Yeah. But
Unless
like,
you
but
show me a picture of the guy, and I'm like, oh, okay. But they'd be
yeah.
like, oh, he does this, and be like, oh,
But I've
well,
noticed now that's making its rounds because it's easy to do. You could do it to anybody, and everybody wants to be the main guy. So everybody wants to do what the main guy does, and the main guy does a Superman punch. So
yeah.
now they want to do it. It's like it's funny to me, but it's like, all right,
The
one
only
guy.
move that I'm just like okay with each of them doing is Samoan drop. To be honest, I
This
don't
only
have an
works,
issue with that.
Tristan. This only works if you're fat. If you have a big old fat ass like Rikishi did, then yeah, this works. But they all do. They all do the Umaga ass in the corner when he runs and he smashes you in the corner.
Yeah,
They all do that. All of them, with the exception of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns
correct.
doesn't, but all of them do that. Let's keep it on the WWE side. I didn't really watch SmackDown. Did you see anything from SmackDown that kind of because, like I said, this time change where everything's early kind of threw me for a loop. I know. I think
Well,
SmackDown still aired at 8 on Friday.
SmackDown still aired at 8 o'clock on Friday. Obviously, it was taped.
Yeah.
They had Jacob Fatu take on Braun Strowman again in a one-on-one match. I think this is the second one-on-one, so it's
Yeah.
not something that bothers me. Any other time that they've touched and faced off had to either be a multi-man match. So it seemed like, you would have thought like Jacob was in trouble and Braun Strowman was on the verge of winning, but out came Tama Tonga and Solo,
Yeah.
which basically the winner of that match is scheduled to get a U.S. title shot this Friday on SmackDown. But it seems like Solo and Tama cost Jacob that match, which obviously you seeing the tension between the two of them continue to go on, because everybody keeps saying that this is going to be a WrestleMania match. The matches that we know that are official for WrestleMania
Man.
would be, Jay taking on Gunther. Now Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk is official. Randy Orton taking on, goddamn, Kevin Owens. That's official. Like, it's very interesting. Like, we still haven't seen. I don't think we've seen Sami Zayn return, right?
No, he doesn't come back.
That puts me to go, damn, he's not going to be on the card this year. It's a little interesting to me.
Yeah. Now, here's my question to you, because I've been reading this on the internet as well, and some of these top internet wrestling guys have been talking about this kind of stuff. And one guy said that this doesn't feel like WrestleMania season. Like he's not excited for WrestleMania because he doesn't feel like they're getting him like in that mode. I beg to differ in the sense that the matches that they're putting together, I'm interested to see, and some I'm excited to see. Am I like going, oh fuck yeah? No, but because we're still quite a ways away from it, where I feel like once it gets a little closer, you'll start to feel that WrestleMania feel.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about it so far with the setups of these matches and everything's falling into place?
For some of the matches, I have no issue with the setup. Do I find it a little strange that they're doing not one but two triple threat matches that are majors of the card? Yes and no.
Yeah.
It's two different genders, and one of them's competing for a championship. The other one is just competing for total dominance.
Yeah,
So, like, the women's title match over on Raw, where they're supposed to turn it into a triple threat because, Rhea wants her shot back at Bianca Belair and Io Sky. I already stated triple threat with Roman, Punk, and Rollins. I feel like the buildup has been fine.
Yeah.
I'm more curious to see what they're going to do with the tag team division. And the tag team division that matters, I'm sorry to say it, is the one that's over on SmackDown.
Oh, for sure.
They just defended their titles up against Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah.
So the biggest take. Yeah. The biggest.
Did you see that spot where he fucking on his feet?
Yes, I thought he was in. I was like, because when I saw it, I didn't think that was gonna happen. I was like, oh, he's gonna take such a killer bump when he lands, and I was just like, oh shit, he landed on his feet. Totally didn't expect that.
Yeah, I like this whole thing now with it, and I'll say this. Listen, I can nod indie wrestling when it deserves it. And what was the Asian dude, Ibushi, when he did it to Will Ospreay?
Yes.
When he did the thing and he landed on his feet, and there was like this moment where he pauses, and the way they shot it was perfectly. WWE tried to do that with him, and them two, they were like shocked that he landed on his feet.
Yeah.
which I thought was good. But again, if you're like you said, if you have deep knowledge of wrestling, you'll pick up on these things.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we saw this, but I like it. I like when you do stuff like that because it gives me that comic book kind of feel to it, where like it's like a superhero style shit where he landed on his feet and he did. Now, here's my question to you: are the Profits bad? Are they heels or are they babyface? Because I
It's
can't.
very. They've been slapping fans of the audience.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like this is what Triple H wanted for them last year.
Okay.
But I also feel like he really didn't want to have much to do with Bobby Lashley. That's just me looking back at it now, a year ago,
Yeah.
because they were trying to turn them heel, and that's been forever the struggle.
Yeah.
With the Street Profits, turn them into villains. Jade Cargill had her first in-ring match back up against Liv Morgan. She finally got her shoulders pinned down to the mat for the first time. Some of the things with that match that's been led up to some controversy that's behind the scenes is alleging how she pinned Liv similar to how Rhea Ripley would pin her. So
Yeah.
I don't know. They're trying to make her seem like she's some sort of locker room cancer, and I'm just like, I don't believe it until it's like actually put out there, which nobody has been going about doing. They're keeping on top of this Naomi heel turn because Naomi is the one who caused her the match.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, this definitely has to be a night 2 WrestleMania match in my eyes.
Yeah. Do you think they skewed towards Naomi because too many people kind of guessed Bianca was the culprit? So they were like, let's kind of scrap that because it's too predictable, and let's just
maybe. But then,
because I don't know. I don't know where this is going now. Because I mean, obviously, when you watched Elimination Chamber and you saw the reaction of Bianca Belair, like she was overselling it, and then the next night on Raw, she oversold it. So you were just kind of like, oh, she's definitely the mastermind behind this all. And then to see like Naomi go, no, I did it for you, like she did that Rikishi shit again, borrowing from each other, the Simone family.
Yes.
She says,
well, she's in the family. You know, she can do it. She's married into the family.
Yeah, so she could borrow the stuff from them. Basically, I did it for you. I did it for the people. And I was like, this is kind of stupid. It's that shit that I'll agree with that internet guy where this doesn't feel like WrestleMania season. Like this weird, like, you're trying to make it, oh, well, you think we're going to go right, but we're really going to go left. Bullshit. I know you're trying to, like, work the internet wrestling community because they're really annoying. But, like, I don't know. Against this, The Rock and Cena, the shit doesn't really make sense to me. And I think that's what's throwing people off this WrestleMania season. They're kind of like, this kind of sucks. Like, it doesn't make sense. You were supposed to make it make sense, and you're not making it make sense. And I think that's throwing people for a loop here.
And I'm like, we're almost like, I don't know, a month away from Mania happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some things that are a little off.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they'll find a way to pick it back up. There's hope for today.
Yeah.
Obviously, the biggest thing that took place on SmackDown was the final segment of the show between, Roman Reigns basically saying if anybody wanted to say anything to his face, they could say it right to him. Now, the thing that always bugs me out is, once again, Roman Reigns came back in the Garden on Raw during the cage match between Rollins and Punk, and he basically whipped both of their asses. Rollins comes in, and he's able to step into the ring without getting punched or anything. He's able to come stand face to face with Roman Reigns and let him know, like, hey, you should have allowed me to finish what I started. And that was putting an end to CM Punk.
Man.
But I get it. I understand. You needed to come out and you needed to get your revenge. And then, of course, Punk comes and he cuts in, and he was just like, my fist is not taped up for no reason. He's here to fight. And then that's when they go into it. Now, it was a little odd because Rollins, basically, Punk was trying to say that Paul Heyman served up Roman Reigns on a silver platter to him.
Yeah.
Which wasn't the case.
Yeah.
There are people speculating that at the end of this, Paul Heyman goes with Seth Rollins. Now, to me, if there's anybody that needs a match at this WrestleMania, it is not CM Punk. It's definitely not Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins has to win this match.
Yeah, because he keeps losing.
Period.
Yeah.
If there's anybody that's deserving, that has earned the win for this Mania, it is Seth Rollins.
It's Seth Rollins.
Hands down.
Yeah.
You can't tell me this dude is not a company guy, because he will do it on even just one leg,
He
like
did.
he did last year.
He did last year. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that is the outcome of all of this. I don't think we need a Paul Heyman turn, but the way things play out, with it being WrestleMania, there has to be some sort of spectacular moment, or we'll just be surprised when he actually pins CM Punk.
I think he should. That's how I think it should play out. He should pin CM Punk. Uh, when he called Seth Rollins grimace, I laughed really, really, really.
Then people of the internet, of course, take that. They had a split picture of Punk, Reigns, and then Grimace, and I lost it. I
yeah,
was like, come
yeah,
on, bro.
yeah. He called him grimace, and then what was the other one he called him when on SmackDown when he was dressed up funny like an oven mitt? You look like an oven mitt. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Punk keeps calling Seth Rollins these things. Oh my god. Can we just finally agree that this is the best work CM Punk's ever done?
Oh, it is.
It's
It
absolute best
is.
work he's ever done. Like I'm very, very impressed that at this stage of the game for him, he can perform at this at such a high level. Uh,
Yeah.
it's impressive. Now, speaking of high levels, let's talk about high levels of bad,
Oh boy.
if you will. I don't watch AEW anymore. I've given up on that horse. I took that dog out back and put a bullet in his head, old Yeller style, a couple weeks ago. I'm done with it. It's literally a wounded animal, and it needs to be put out of its misery. It's pathetic. And what I mean by wounded animal, and I use this metaphor for a reason. On Wednesday, now this is what the best part of this whole thing is. Apparently, this match wasn't even the main event. It
No,
wasn't
it
even the
was
main
not.
event.
It was probably right before 9 o'clock even came,
Yeah.
and it was pretty
In the
much.
first hour,
Mhm.
Jon Moxley takes on Edge or Cope,
There you
and
go.
they use a 2x4 full of nails.
Yes.
And Edge suplexes Jon Moxley onto said 2x4, in which the 2x4 gets stuck into Jon Moxley's back, and they have to rip this 2x4 out of his back. Yes,
Hmm.
dirty nails too, by the way, live on Dynamite on TNT. Okay, Wheeler Yuta was the unfortunate recipient who had to rip this
No,
thing.
the referee was the one who got it out of his back.
Oh, the referee got it out of his back.
Yes.
It was that deep in his back that they were pulling it, and they couldn't get it out of his back. And the commentators were like, "I'm going to throw up. This is disgusting." I watched Stevie Richards' reaction to it. He dry heaved. He almost threw up. It was disgusting. Jon Moxley. It was from AEW's last week's Dynamite. Jon Moxley versus Cope. It was god awful, and it just makes me, I mean, hate AEW more. I didn't think there was a way that I could despise this company more or completely not respect it more. And they find new ways every week to surpass my expectations of how stupid. And first off, not a main event. Secondly, your top guy and your champion
Correct.
takes this kind of spot that could take him out. That could end your career. That could have fucked him up real bad. I'm not saying it could have fucked up his spine if it went in deep enough. Who the fuck knows what could happen? Did you watch this live?
I didn't watch it live. I got to see it later that night, and I just kept going, why? Why is this needed? Why is this necessary? Like, I know that there are people who enjoy hardcore matches. I enjoy hardcore matches to an extent. It needs to look like some form of, obviously there needs to be brutality within it, but it should be an art form as it's being done.
I
And
agree.
sometimes some of the stuff is just too over the top lately.
Yeah, for real. It's at one point when I was watching the clip, I had to stop it when Wheeler Yuta was trying to pull it out of his back because I got queasy and I was like, I can't watch.
I turned away. I was just like, nah, I'm good.
I'm done with this. This is fucking stupid. And like again, can we just admit that Jon Moxley overrated? No, ain't not that good.
Here's the thing. I don't know a single person out there that puts him high up on a pedestal.
I
Like,
mean,
I don't personally know anybody
no, I
who
mean,
does it.
yeah,
I was a fan of his work while he was in WWE, and people didn't like him then. I was the different one, where
yeah,
I enjoyed him. I didn't mind him at the start of AEW. Everything wound up taking a turn once he became into this villain portrayal of himself, and I'm just like, I don't know where a lot of the things are going. But
yeah.
then when you're a fan of wrestling and you care to watch as much wrestling as you can consume, and AEW is one of those promotions that it's right there for you, you could just turn right to it as long as you have cable or at least Max,
Yeah.
and it has the ability to push and just push you away completely.
I don't know.
Sucks.
I don't know if they thought like I don't know if John was like I've taken that before like on a bed of nails. It shouldn't be a problem. Like I'll just bump off of it. It'll hurt for a second. I don't think they anticipated it going in as deep as it did because that was crazy. Man, he stood up. This shit was in his bag.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like, what the fuck is going on with this? Yeah, what's the question?
Is this the second in a row of them doing something gross and dangerous? Like last time was a guy hitting himself in the face.
Well, it was within a span from the pay per view to there, so yeah, within a couple of days.
Yeah, a couple of days. So there you go. AEW, just like I said. And then on top of that, the main event apparently was a woman's match, right? I think of
Yes,
AEW Dynamite.
yes.
And how does the crowd recover from watching them be yanking out a 2x4 of nails out of this guy's back? I don't know. AEW tends to be more of an
Well,
adult crowd.
when you think about it, when they had their pay per view, and then they opt to turn around and do this about a week later or whatever the case is, there was no way that that was going to be able to fit on the card
Mm,
if they're already having a crazy women's match and a crazy cage match.
yeah.
So let's try to get views and ratings and so on and so forth and do this on TV.
That's fucking crazy, man. I don't know. I can't do it with AEW. I don't know how you guys do it every
I was
week.
gonna say give it another chance, but then I saw that.
I am. I will give it
There,
another.
there, there are certain things that I'm like I could tolerate and I could watch, and then there are some things I'm just going, why am I doing this to myself? Like for example, their latest acquisition to the company, the newest talent that they have is Speedball Mike Bailey. Speedball Mike Bailey uh, is pretty talented. I don't think he's that big of a deal. To some people, he may be, not to me.
No.
Now he and Ricochet both pinned the guy in a four-way match, and they will be getting a AEW International Championship match with champion Kenny Omega defending at their next big event, April 6th, Dynasty. So I'm just wondering, why is it that every time they bring in a brand new talent, they just can't like build him completely differently? Like he doesn't need to go for a title or something like that.
Because Tony Khan plays video game wrestling with AEW.
Jeez.
He's just basically doing GM mode, and he's just booking how he wants. He's just doing what he wants. He likes it's a new toy. He wants the new toy to be on TV all the time. But here's the thing: the problem is when he brings in new toys, other toys get pushed off to the side because they said somebody else now, Max Caster, is getting the same treatment that everybody else is getting. Where he's not coming on TV. Nobody ever puts on like it's like
Well, no, he's no, he's on. Here's the thing: he's on TV. He's just losing all the time.
he just loses all the
He's having these open challenges where it's the opposite of him
time.
getting wins. It's the inverted Kurt Angle invitational. Basically, Angle obviously would win all the matches until there was like a big story moment where
Yeah.
that changed. But in this one, it's everybody's getting him with like either hit their move real quick or he gets the offense and they turn around and they just beat him. That's what's going on with Max Caster.
I just think like, yo, man, there's like no direction there. And they're just like, yeah, what are you doing tonight? And then Jon Moxley goes, yeah, me and Cope are going to have a nail thing. And they go, okay. They're going to have a nail spot. Okay. Okay. And he just hugs him. Good luck out there. Don't get hurt, please. Fucking idiot that he is. The guy's such a fucking moron. If that was me, they come backstage, I'd be like, you go to the doctor, you get sewn up, whatever the fuck the case is. You ever do something like that again, and I will fire you on the spot.
I feel like
That's what he should have said.
when they have their pay-per-view in 2 weeks, if Moxley winds up retaining, their audience is going to fully turn on them.
Yeah.
and it's going to be a dark day for
Mhm.
Tony Khan in my eyes.
Listen, I said there was this like reminds me of like let's rewind all the way to the first day of AEW, right? And they have this beautiful fucking cruise ship on the ocean, right? It's getting ready, it's cruise liner, right? And Tony Khan has the champagne bottle, and he's about to christen the ship, right? And the ship is gonna sail off into the seas. It's unsinkable. It's a fantastic vessel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he went to go hit the thing, and the fucking bottle went right through the ship. All right, and they're like, wait a minute. I feel like he made a fucking Titanic ship out of paper mache. That's how I feel
Jesus.
sometimes. Because that ship never had a chance. It never had a chance. As soon as that shit set sail, and everybody was like, "Oh shit!" They all started jumping on it. The boat started sinking. It started doing all this. It couldn't carry some egos. Like CM Punk had to leave. Cody had to leave. This one had to leave. And now it's just literally you can literally you're sitting level with the water at this point, and you're like, "Hey man, at any moment the water's just gonna overflow over the wall of this boat, and this fucking thing is gonna come right down to the bottom of the ocean, and we're all fucked." And I
Like,
think they're just ignoring it. They're just like buckets and just dumping some of the water out, going, everything's fine. Everything's good, I promise. But it's really not, man. And I feel like at some point, somebody is going to either shut this shit down or say, yo, man, we need to bring in smart wrestling people because what's going on right now
it,
is not
it's
enough.
like the last piece of talent that they had that they built from the ground up that they had there that was decent. That's gone because even with some of the women, they don't even build them up properly.
They
Put
don't
them in
build
a
anybody
battle.
up.
They put them in a battle royal night one, and they don't even win the battle royal. The way Jade Cargill has been showcased in WWE was almost similar to how she was showcased on AEW.
Yeah.
Sure, she took some losses, but at the time she still wasn't getting pinned. Like nobody was touching her. Now, even when she took the loss on Friday, it was still due to two people interfering. So she still looked strong.
Yeah.
I don't know how, you know, bringing in Speedball Mike Bailey, introducing him into a tournament, then he's not even the guy that wins the tournament. He's just one of the other guys that's competing against Omega, which Omega's going to wind up winning. And I'm just like, well, Ricochet, I guess, gets pinned.
Yeah.
So we think.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised because here's the thing too. I noticed with Tony Khan is he likes to pull the trigger on things either way too late or way too early, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if he was to put the belt on Ricochet because he feels like he's got like a viable heel now in Ricochet, and it's like, why don't you let Ricochet ferment a little bit before you start? Or it wouldn't even surprise me if Ricochet has something involved and they put the belt on Speedball because, like I said, it's a shiny new toy, and he pulls triggers too quick, like I said, or too late. Like he did that shit too late with the fucking dummy that does the movie gimmick, Tony Storm.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Too late. You pulled the trigger way too late because you're a fucking moron. And now I think he's gonna pull the trigger too early on Ricochet. I just have this weird feel because he doesn't know what he's doing. If it's one thing that's apparent when you watch AEW, you literally go, the person in charge has no fucking idea what he's doing. Because if he did, there'd be a little bit of structure. There is
Yeah,
none.
absolutely.
Okay?
None.
Like you said, they built Jade Cargill the same way in AEW.
Hmm.
But for some reason, we accept it and we embrace it from WWE's perspective because it made a little bit more sense, maybe. And
Yes.
even, do you think that they took her out because she needed more work?
Maybe.
I think so. That was my theory. My theory was I think they were like, oh shit, they didn't do anything with this woman.
Because I felt like her and Liv was a long. It was I don't know. SmackDown felt like a really long show. So some of it I remember, some
Yeah.
of it I don't even care. I hate to go backwards, but
No, that's fine.
Piper Niven and Zelina Vega had a match for a long time, and I was just like, I literally said to the screen, just squash her and get this over with. And she beat her with a running crossbody, and it was over.
Oh, wow. Look at that. They were listening to you. I mean, Jesus Christ. I listen. That's the general consensus of SmackDown because I feel the same way. There are times where I'm like, what the fuck? This feels like it's 4 hours, but it's only 3. And I
Yes.
don't think SmackDown. First off, SmackDown should not be 3 hours, but that extra hour extends it to a point where you're like, yo, man, this is mind numbing. Yeah, I can't fuck with this. Well, look at you. Got a unexpected guest come walking
Yeah,
through
of
here.
course. I was like, what is happening right now? My brain was going, I hope they remain asleep because they're not feeling well at this moment. Don't bother me unless it's necessary. Um,
How was NXT? Didn't watch NXT. Didn't watch TNA.
I'll be
Obviously.
very honest. I didn't watch TNA. I
Yeah.
do know that Nick Nemeth is now heel because he turned on his team when they had the cage match. They had a Friday pay-per-view. I don't know if it was last Friday or the week before that, but I was
Okay.
just like, all right, they're doing something different with him. NXT, I didn't even take the opportunity to watch. I'll play catch up today.
Okay.
Trying to figure out if there's anything else major. Oh, everybody's under the suspecting that Malachi Black or Aleister Black, whichever way you want to call him,
Yeah.
is coming back to WWE because they keep on putting up this four and smoke. And then, of course, it's 100% obvious that Rey Fenix has been signed to WWE and he's going to be making his way over to the SmackDown roster, which does not hurt PENTA in any way, shape, or form because then we don't have to rush to bring them together as a tag team.
Yeah, we don't need the Lucha Brothers right now. Let them both establish each other themselves on two separate shows.
And let's pray that they don't put them in either one of the Latino groups that they have.
Yeah, like who would the LWO or the
Or
Fantastic?
Legado del Fantasma. Like, I don't want them being either one of those groups.
I don't think so. If he does, they'll definitely put him in LWO for some reason because they put all the babyface Spanish guys in LWO for some reason.
Had to mute myself from all the coughing in the background.
You could definitely tell the little guy's sick. Listen, now Jay needs help. Her wrestling way too amateur. Yeah. I think sometimes WWE kind of had saw that she's not really ready yet. We had to pull the trigger because she had a lot of momentum coming from AEW, and they put her with Bianca, hoping that you could hide some of it. But listen, she definitely.
That's why I feel like they put her in tag matches or six women.
Yeah, because they got to hide it as best they can. But they definitely need her to go. She needs to get some work in. She needs to get better. But yeah, man. So today's topic to close the show, obviously, we're gonna touch on it briefly because I don't want to bring it down, and then I have another topic so that we don't completely. Because I had a hard time going through this last week. Our friend passed away last week, tragically. Vince, we both knew him for a very long time. You much closer to Vince than I was. I mean, I was pretty close to Vince. We talked a lot, but you guys, like I said, you guys actually.
Yeah, we've worked in the ring several times, whether it be when I was wrestling or being able to referee one of his matches, clowning around, whether it be sometimes in the ring as well. There were jokes always being made. Definitely, back behind the curtain in the locker room.
Yeah.
Just having fun. He was a very lovable guy. He enjoyed what it was that he did. It's very tough knowing that he is not here to make it to his 40th birthday, which is next month.
I know.
It's crazy to think about because it's just one of those things that I'm still currently trying to process as best I can. It's just like, I wish this is not something that happened. I know nobody wanted this to happen, especially for it to transpire and take place at a place that he met his most fulfillment and enjoyment at, a wrestling show, working at a show. So it's just wild.
Man, I was unfortunately there, so we were doing the production, so we saw everything. So it was, I mean, even seeing it like that is still hard to process.
Yes.
So I'll just say that I miss him very dearly already. My thoughts and prayers go out to his family. But he would be very missed, at least from this side of the things. Because, like I said, he was one of those guys where every time I showed up to a show, either he came up to me or I went up to him. We would always say hello to each other. We'd always talk for a little bit. When I was running MVW, he was one of the first guys from Ace that hit me up and was like, "I'd love to wrestle for you guys and help out any way I can." And he was a major help. And even when I was, like I said, when I was doing the production thing, and he started his own company, I was the first name that he went to. That was the first people he came to. He was very loyal that way. Like I said, he was a great fucking guy, man. And like I said, I'll miss him. I'm sure you'll miss him. I know a lot of guys we know, like Cheyenne and Anthony and everybody else will miss him as well.
Yes.
I know this coming Saturday, Mike is doing Hero Celebration, the tribute to his son, and he now said it's a tribute to Vince as well. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a hard show for everybody.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want to go too much into it because, like I said, I talked about it last week and I almost fucking broke down, so I'm not going to do it again. But we love Vince. Rest in peace, Vince Steele. Just want to make sure we talked about it a little bit here on Spot Monkey.
Yes.
But let's get back on track. What happened with Jon Moxley made me think, and today's topic, since it's just me and you, we'll just talk about quickly our favorite hardcore moments in wrestling. Okay? At least ones that made more sense than what we saw last Wednesday. So I'll start with you. I know I just put you on the spot, but you don't have to go deep into detail. You don't have to go through the Rolodex. Just one that comes to mind that you remember and you're like, that will always stand out in my head.
So for me, you're just not going to let me speak at all? I'm just going to keep coughing out. So for me, they're like, trust me, this will never happen like this on Mondays usually. Fun times had to be the introduction of the Hardcore Championship.
Okay.
That was a 24/7. So whether it had been Mick Foley being in hardcore title matches, whether it had been Al Snow in hardcore title matches, even Road Dogg, there are different moments and times where the hardcore title existed, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
One of the big matches would be from the, I guess I don't think anybody would consider infamous Invasion angle, but Rob Van Dam taking on Jeff Hardy for the Hardcore Championship is one of those big moments. Yeah. Crash Holly's entire Hardcore Championship run that went pretty heavy from like 2000 to maybe 2001.
Still love the fact that he would carry a scale to the ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carry the scale, fight anywhere, whether it be an airport, Discovery Zone when it existed, like just different places.
Yeah. All right. So first off, I gotta second this comment because this was one of my favorites, and that's Booker T, Stone Cold Steve Austin in the supermarket. Probably one of the greatest segments on wrestling history to me till this very day. Yeah. I can watch this today and literally laugh just as hard as I did the day I watched it live. Like that's how funny this segment is to me. So fucking funny. We got, of course, the Hell in the Cell from 1998, Mankind versus The Undertaker. But like again, that I think I lopped that in with a Jon Moxley thing, where it's just like, what are you doing, Foley? Like, I mean, how many bumps are you going to take before you say enough is enough? Like, he got tossed off the top, he gets chokeslammed through it, then he gets on tacks, and he gets tombstone, he gets tossed through the steel stairs. It was just fucking crazy. But it'll always hold a special place in my heart, obviously. But to me, one of the best hardcore matches I had witnessed was Triple H versus Cactus Jack from the Royal Rumble. That was a fucking great match.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ, man. This to me, it was an exclamation point because they were heavily engaged in a feud with each other. And I just remember saying, like, after that match was done, I know Triple H won, but after that match was done, I was just like, yo, man, that's exactly what you expect. Storytelling at its finest. Like I said, Triple H doesn't get enough credit. Everybody always touts Shawn Michaels and The Rock and Stone Cold and Ric Flair, but no one ever gives Triple H's just due as being one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And I think he firmly deserves some respect on his name. I think a lot of people sometimes they don't give Triple H his just due. Roughshod bringing up Randy Orton getting his head busted open from Brock when Brock said screw this and started kind of getting a little too stiff.
Since he said Orton versus Mick Foley at Backlash 2004
Backlash,
another goodie.
Yeah. When he drops him back.
If Greco was here, he'd probably disagree. Edge and Foley from WrestleMania 22 was another goodie.
Yeah. I'll accept that because that was when I was just like, that was the first time I actually was like, all right, this wasn't bad with Edge. Like, to me, I don't have an issue with Edge. Here's the thing. I don't have an issue with Edge. Edge just tends to, like, kind of fall flat with me. Because, like, he came in an era where I had already had established favorites, and he was just sitting on a stage. Okay. So, like, I didn't really get into Edge. I didn't really care. you know? So when Edge kind of came up and he started doing the heel thing and he won the Money in the Bank, even at that point, I'm like, it's fucking Edge. Who cares?
You
And
weren't
then,
that crazy about it. I get it.
yeah. So, like, to me, I never really sold off. I really never signed off on Edge. Whereas, like, I loved Mick Foley. So that was the first time I'd actually like kind of paid attention to Edge.
Yes.
Where I was just like, oh shit, okay, let's watch this. And then his match at ECW, One Night Stand.
Yeah.
With what was it, him and somebody from Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk, was it? Or some shit? Where it was Sandman, whatever the fuck it was. That was good too. Edge proves that he could have good gimmick matches.
You're referring to Edge and Foley up against Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk. Yes, I know. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That one, yeah. But Edge has had pretty good hardcore matches. I liked it. I don't know if it was a TLC or a Hell in the Cell where Undertaker choke slams him off the ladder and he goes through the ring.
Oh, that was SummerSlam, a Hell in the Cell match. I know what you're talking about.
That one I thought was pretty good. I think some of his matches with John Cena weren't bad. Like I said, when it comes to hardcore wrestling, to me, it's got to be there's got to be an exclamation point on the end of the feud or something like that. I don't like, I'm just going to take this 2x4 of nails and you're going to suplex me on it on a random Wednesday on Dynamite.
There's literally
a
clip out there where Moxley had a regular match with somebody, regular one-on-one wrestling match. The person punched him. He bumped, rolled out of the ring, and bladed for no reason. For no reason whatsoever.
Again, like I said, he's overrated. I don't know what people see in him. I don't understand why people think he's like this. To me, this is Timu version of the Bloodline. This whole Death Riders shit, where he's trying to be a tribal chief.
I wouldn't even compare the two at all. You're doing yourself and the Bloodline a disservice by comparing.
Yeah, there's no way you could compare it. This is absolute dog shit, man.
And my favorite part is these days there is no Bloodline when you think about it. Realistically speaking, the whole story is kind of done away with since, they're not together as a group anymore. It's just Roman Reigns doing his own thing, Solo and his henchmen, and everybody's doing their own thing.
I think that's the way it should be. I mean, how much longer are you going to take this Bloodline thing anyway? So right now, I guess they're trying to now put everybody separate and while trying to keep them relevant. I guess it would be the best way to describe it.
If anybody's still clamoring for a Roman Reigns versus The Rock match, just stop.
It's over. Yeah, it's done.
It's not worth seeing now at this point. As The Rock gets older, it's just, I don't think it's worth it.
Hey, Felix, what's up, bud? It's good to see you. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. Action Figure Addict says he's putting a complaint into Vince Russo for a squash match. Yesterday, I had Action Figure Addict. He's a member, channel member. I had him fight Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title in WCW, and Rey Mysterio wiped the floor with him. Rey Mysterio was like, yeah, I'm good.
Oh, my God.
Rey Mysterio went into business for himself last night. He was not going to lose that Cruiserweight championship. But yeah, man, listen, when it comes to hardcore wrestling, I just like I like it to make sense. I like it to mean something like you said.
Yes.
It's perfect way to describe it. These things should I know it's bedlam. I know it's supposed to be chaotic.
Here's a solid honorable mention. Because it was a mixture of wrestling meets, I'm gonna put you through some furniture.
Yeah.
Mike Awesome Masato Tanaka had a bunch of barn burners. Somehow it always incorporated either a tornado DDT or a power bomb to go through a table. So I was cool with those moments too.
Listen, you want to listen? The Dudley Boys and New Jack,
yes,
and just put in other tag team partner because he always just had random people with him.
Yeah, Masato Tanaka, Balls Mahoney, Spike Dudley, you name it.
But these guys, man, like the Dudleys had some great hardcore matches.
Yes.
Sabu has had some fantastic hardcore stuff.
Like for me, I don't really consider RVD to be a hardcore wrestler, but it was just at random. Could you hold this chair right here? I'm just gonna kick it. Like that's really what it was.
Yeah. Like like same thing could be said for Taz. Taz was not a hardcore guy.
Not a hardcore but he would just randomly suplex you through a table.
From time to time.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And then sometimes, instead of Van Damme going, can you hold this chair? He'd be like, hey, catch this.
Yes, there was that too.
Yeah, then you kick it. Oh, fucking A, man. Okay, first one. Okay, is it trying to be the new ECW, AEW? No, I think AEW is just trying to be like an alternative, but they're trying to like I don't know what they're trying to do, Tristan. I wish we had a correct answer for you. I have no fucking idea. Because like
Some
I said,
people, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead,
no,
continue.
the shit you see, it makes no sense. Go ahead.
Some people will just say that this is a high dollar indie promotion
I
with
agree.
some major names
Mhm.
from the past and some up and coming ones.
Yeah,
That might be the best way to look at it
to describe it. Yeah,
because AEW from where it was at the start is not AEW where it is today.
yeah.
And then I have one other question before you put the other one.
Okay.
Did you do that?
Okay, when's Dustin's contract up
I
with
think
Love?
he's signed. I think he signed on for much longer.
Yeah,
Because like I said, Swerve is there until 2029, which is crazy to think about. I think Dustin is there until like probably at least like 2027, 2028.
yeah,
And he kind of doesn't really care about going back to WWE because at the end of the day, he's got his money, whether it had been from WWE or from AEW.
yeah.
At some point, what everybody would really like is for him to be put into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Don Curvin asks, or Felix, is it true that the WWE is bringing back Lucha Underground? If so, how do you guys see this working out?
That's one of those rumors.
Yeah,
The cool thing is that they'll have more content to put out somewhere,
yeah,
preferably on Netflix, like it was when Lucha Underground was on Netflix for like a month or two. And
yeah,
then when I finally go to watch it, they took it away. So, and they got some of the stars that are currently there. They bring up Lucha Underground a lot in commentary when it comes to guys like Penta or
yeah.
something like that. You know, they have some of the lady talents that have been over there. Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Kyrie Sane have been a part of Lucha Underground. So it'll be very interesting. I mean, it's not like WWE was able to get their hands on, Ring of Honor because it wasn't like they were jumping up to buy it. Tony Khan has all that footage. So, who knows? Maybe one day AEW, I don't want it to go down, but what if it happens that way? WWE will just grab more footage.
They that definitely will. Yeah. Now he says, the FTR versus the Briscoes 8 ROH.
Oh yeah, that's another goodie. As far as through their trilogy matches, yeah, that's definitely up there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I've noticed that. That's why I'm asking. Imagine Gable opens it up, challenges all lucha wrestlers. I wouldn't be like. Listen, it wouldn't surprise me, like you just said, to have extra content. I don't know if it'll be its own separate brand, like a show that they'll bring back. I don't know what they'll do there. I mean, they tried Raw Underground. That fucking was a complete disaster. It was so
Bringing back ECW was like a good and bad thing.
yeah. Well, it was good and bad because it was good because everybody loved the nostalgia act. It was bad because they just poorly executed.
Yeah, because then afterwards ECW just became it was just WWE light.
Yeah, it's all it was. Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It was WWE with the Zombie and Kevin Thorne and fat ass Tony DeVito as a priest. Motherfucker. Chad Gable, I think the masked man is Rey Fenix. Ooh, rough shot coming in with an interesting take, but I don't know. I think it's probably Chad Gable. It's definitely Gable. If it's not Gable, it'll probably be honestly, I don't know who else it could be. It has to be Gable. Right? You would assume, like that guy in the American Made mask is Chad
Yeah,
Gable.
but my thing is like I just want to know where the story's going.
Yeah.
That's all. Maybe we'll find out more today since Raw's on at 4 p.m. The big news is that Bron Breakker defends his Intercontinental Championship against Penta, which I was not expecting to come as soon as it is right now. So something tells me that somebody's going to interfere to cause.
Yeah,
There's got to be a DQ finish to the match to me.
Yeah, I think Finn Balor, Judgment Day.
All right, you'll
Finn
sit.
Balor
I got you.
and Judgment Day gets involved. Who owns the library? I think TKO. I think WWE and TKO bought the Lucha Underground property.
But it hasn't been proven yet. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, ladies and gents, that's the show for today. We appreciate you guys for hanging out, and we appreciate you guys immensely. Thank you guys so much, like I said to yesterday, for checking out the first installment of the LSWA. I almost lost my voice from screaming. I really did. So it was interesting to say the least. But you can catch Spot Monkey Radio every Monday, 10:30 a.m. right here on False Finish, and you can catch the LSWA every Sunday on Legend Series YouTube, Legend_series.
And if you got Instagram and you want to jump up and follow me at I Love Wrestling History, one of the latest videos that I posted from yesterday is when Stephanie McMahon strikes her mom and slaps her down, which when she got slapped, it looked like she died in the ring. Hilarious stuff.
I remember that. Yeah, Raw today is at 4 p.m. If anybody's wondering, it's on Netflix. So check it out. Is that video up? Yeah, it's on Legend Series. You can watch the replay. It's on the live. Go to the live tab, and you can watch it. Some interesting things happened last night. DDP lost his television championship to Yojo Jerk. I was shocked. Still shocked and appalled by that.
Now, the question is, are you simulating the matches?
No, well, so basically what we do is I just put the control to they're both computer controlled.
Okay.
And I literally call it like an actual event.
Okay, got you. So
yeah.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. And then somebody suggested this, and I suggested it as well before we went live, was you could take bets on this because I have no idea who's winning either. So this is actually pro wrestling that's kind of real. Because they're not predetermined. Because I can't do it. I can't predetermine it. So we might start like a Legends Kings, like a Draft Kings. So you can take some bets on these things. I'm gonna become a bookie.
Oh my god!
I appreciate it. Definitely check it out every Sunday 6 p.m. We're live on the Legend Series with this. It's LSWA. Cool. You're in it with Anthony as the movement. And I got a couple more people in there from the old MVW days and what have you. But thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you, man. We will be back at this next Monday. Like I said, check Malik over on Instagram at I Love Wrestling History. If you love pro wrestling, he's got clips coming up every day, sometimes multiple times, and it's like great moments in history that will say, "Fuck, I remember that. I miss it." Right, shit like that.
Except for that Jacqueline versus Lita match, that shit is abysmal. But I had to post it because I don't want people feeling like I don't incorporate women in anything.
Yeah,
it's a false narrative.
Roughshod brought up a good hardcore moment when Austin clobbered Lita with the steel chair.
Yeah,
you remember that shit?
That was another good one.
God, I love Steve Austin. Anyway, I imagine you like Jim Carrey in The Mask. Well, I imagine you like Jim Carrey in The Mask. What does that mean? Are you talking about me? Yeah. Oh.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell just happened there.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week. We appreciate you. Until then, deuces.